Hello everyone, welcome back to the Java for Selenium series. In our first video, we have learned about the basic of Java and why it is important or essential for the automation testing. So today we are going to understand two more important or Java fundamental things. One is Java syntax rules, which is we can say the foundation of writing any Java program, and another one is data types, which define the kind of data your program can handle. So to understand the importance of the Java syntax, let's consider this example. So I have the Java syntax.java file. In that I have this package statement. Under that package we have the public class Java syntax. Okay, so we have added this main method, and using that main method we will be able to print this statement in the console. Okay, very simple Java program. So now we will be able to run this Java program successfully. If we click on this, it will simply run it, right? So why this program gets executed? Because there are no syntactical error, okay, Java syntactical error in this program, and that's why we are able to run it. So in case, for example, if I remove this semicolon and if I try to run it now, okay, so we are getting some kind of error here. We are not able to run the Java program completely, and we are not getting any output also. Let's say public static void main, instead of main I write main1. Okay, I will save it and let's try to run it again. Again we got the error, the main method not found in the class. Another thing, let's say I remove this curly bracket, okay, and I will make it main, save it and try to run it. Still we are getting the error. So why we are getting this error? Because we are not following a proper Java syntax while writing this Java program, and that's why this program is not getting compiled successfully. So if program is not getting compiled successfully, then you will not be able to execute it. So that's why basic understanding about the Java syntax rules are very important, especially when you just started learning about the Java programming language. Okay, so as a beginner level, very important topic. So I have created one mind map to understand this Java syntax rules. So it contains different rules for different things in the Java program. So in the Java program we require package. There are some rules we need to follow for the file names. Then there are different rules for the package declaration, class declaration, main method, variables, result keywords, semicolons, comments, indentation. So these are some basic important Java syntax rules that we need to follow, so that your Java program will be compiled successfully and you will be able to execute it without any error. So let's start with our first thing, that is file names. So before we write our Java program, we need to create one file and we need to save that file using .java extension. So first rule for that file is file name should be the name of class which is public in that Java file. Okay, so here I have given the example also, myClass.java for public class myClass. So in your file, if my class name is Java syntax, so I need to save that file as javasyntax.java. And another important rule is Java is a case sensitive language. Okay, so whatever class name you have given, exactly same name you need to give to your .java file. For example, we have this file name javasyntax.java and our public class name is Java syntax. So if I change the class name here, it will start giving me the error. Okay, and in one Java file, .java file, you can have at most one public class. So you can have multiple classes in this .java file, but at most only one class can be public. So this is the another rule. So if I write public, so public type Java2 must be defined in its own file. That means every Java file can have at most one class which is public. So if I remove the public, the modifier will be default. So you will not get any error now. It's gone. So these are the important rules that we need to follow for creating .java file. So let's move to the next rule for the package declaration. So if class belongs to a package, then package statement must be the first line of the Java file. For example, let me show you. If I remove this, okay, save it. Now here we are getting some error. Declared package does not match the expected package Java learning. Okay, so currently my package is Java learning, so that package statement has to be the first line of this Java file. If I write this Java class outside of this Java learning package, then I don't need to write this package statement. But as we have added under the package statement has to be the first statement in our Java file. So that is the first rule for package declaration. Next one is use all lowercase characters for package names to avoid conflicts with the class name. Okay, So for the class we use the uppercase, starting letter will be uppercase. So for the creating the package names, you should use all lowercase characters. Okay, so that will be easy to differentiate between classes and package. Next rule is a Java file can only belong to one package. You cannot declare multiple package in a same file. Right? So package is nothing but a folder, right? So one class can be a part of one package only. So if I write here multiple package statement, that is not allowed in Java. This is not allowed. Next rule is a package can have nested subpackage separated by dot. For example, com.q.amazon.pages. Okay, so if you write package name like this, so in this com is the parent package, then we have QA as a subpackage, then Amazon, and then pages package. So in this statement we have total 4 packages. In that com is the main package. Under that we have these 3 sub packages. Okay, so in the Java you can easily create sub packages under a main package, and you can separate it by using this dot operator. So now let's move to the class declaration rules. Use class keyword followed by the class name to declare a class. Right. So as example, here we have created this Java syntax class. So here what we have used? We have used this class keyword. Okay, so there is a concept in Java which is called as a keyword, which are nothing but the reserved words in the Java that we cannot use as a identifier. So when you create a package, this is called as a identifier. The name of the package is nothing but the identifier in the Java. Similarly, for creating the class, we use this Java syntax identifier. And why you use it? Because in the programming we need to refer this package or class or methods, variables in another package also, in another project also. So how we are going to identify it? So that's why we need to use the identifiers. So for creating the class, we need to use this class keyword followed by the name of your class. This is the first rule for class declaration. So second rule for class declaration is use capital letter as a starting letter for your class name. So when you are creating a class, this starting letter should be capital. So next rule for class declaration is there should not be space, there should not be special character, and it should not start with the digit. Okay, so in case of special character, this underscore is allowed in the Java for writing your Java class name. So here Java syntax, if I write underscore here, that is completely allowed. But then again we will get some another Java syntax rule that this file name has to be underscore Java syntax dot Java. But you can start your Java class with the underscore, and you cannot start with the digit. So before digit you can have underscore. So you can have digit in your Java class name, but it should not be the starting letter. And also you cannot have the space. So these are the rules for creating the Java class. So next rule is related to the modifier. We are going to understand all these modifiers in the Java in the upcoming session in detail. Related to the modifier, this is the rules. Private, protected, static modifiers are not valid for top level classes. Okay. However, it can be used for the inner classes. So there is a concept of inner classes in Java, which is very useful while creating your complex Java programming. Okay, so we will understand this, what is top level classes, what is inner classes. But as a short example, let's say this is my top class. So inside this class, I can have another class, which we called as a inner class. This is my public class Java syntax. Here I can create one more class. Class, let's say subclass 1. Okay, so this is my inner class. So for this inner class, I can use private, protected, and static modifiers, which is allowed. But I cannot use these modifiers for top level classes. So this is my top class, right? If I remove it, this is default. If I make it private, it is giving us the error. Illegal modifier for the class Java syntax. Only public, abstract, and final are permitted. So I cannot use the protected as well, right? And I cannot use static as well. So all these modifiers are not allowed at the top level Java class, but those are allowed for the inner classes. For example, for here I can write protected class subclass 1, no error. Static, okay, no error. And also I can make it private. So these are the 4 important rules for class declaration in the Java. So next rule is for the main method. So main method must use signature public static void main string array args. Okay, so this main method should be inside a class. You cannot create main method outside of the class. So these are the two rules we need to follow for the main method. For this main method, if I write main1, currently I am not getting any error after saving, and if you try to run it, you will get this error. Main method not found in any class, and it is also stating that you should define main method in this format, public static void main string array args. So next set of rules are for the identifiers for the variable declaration in the Java. So we create files. In that file we create package, in that we create class, under class we write the main method also. So in main method or any other Java method we require variables. Okay, so why we create variables, what are the different types of variables in the Java, all these things we are going to see in detail in the upcoming sessions. When you are creating the variable, there also we need to provide the identifier. Okay, so using that identifier we will be able to perform some operations on that variables. Okay, so for creating the variables in the Java, these are the rules. A variable name must begin with a letter, $sign or underscore. So for creating the variables similar to the classes, we cannot have the spaces or special characters like at the rate, hash, percentage. All these special characters are not allowed for the variables as well. And it should start with the letter. So you cannot use digit as a starting letter of your variable as well. Let's say here I am writing, let's say integer a is equals to, let's say 10. So I can have letter here, then I can have dollar, right, and I can have underscore also, but I cannot use digit here. It will start giving me the error. And other special characters, any special character, it will not allow. And second rule is variable names are also case sensitive. So everything in Java is a case sensitive. So all these variables are different in Java. So next set of rules is for the result keywords in the Java. So we should not use result keywords for creating any package, class, any methods or variables in the Java. So these are some examples of the result keywords that we cannot use as an identifier for your class or methods or variables. Let's say class, public, static, this, super, if else, all these are the result keywords. Okay, so Java will not allow if you use this as an identifier for your class or variables or methods. Now next set of rules for the curly braces. So for every class and for every method we need to enclose those in the curly bracket. Okay, so at the beginning we have seen, if I remove this curly bracket, it will start giving me the error. So every class or every method should be enclosed using curly braces. Okay, for this class, if I remove, this will start giving me the error. Okay, so that's why these curly brackets are very important in the Java programming language. So next rule is for the semicolons. So it is must to end the statement with the semicolon. So in the Java, these semicolons are very important. When you are completing any statement, you need to provide semicolon. Okay, if I remove it, it will start giving me the error. If you create any variables, again here also we need to provide semicolon. So Java will consider this statement is completed in this line. Okay, so without semicolon you will get different errors in the compilation. And in some cases, for example, if you are writing a for loop over here, for example, for this simple for loop, here I don't need semicolon. If I give semicolon here, it will do nothing. Okay, so Java will consider this statement, okay, as a separate and this statement as a separate. Okay, so not use the semicolon. So next Java syntax rule is for the comments. So while creating the Java program, while creating any automation framework also, we create multiple methods, we declare different variables also. So using these Java comments, we will be able to write what exactly that method is going to do. Okay, so while reading that comment, the other people will understand what is the use of that method or what is the use of that variable. Okay, so to increase readability of your code so that other people will understand easily and quickly, we use single line comment or multi-line comment for those methods or variables. Okay, so all these comments in the Java will be ignored by the compiler. So in the Java, you can have single line comment using the double slash. And for multi-line comment, you can start with the slash, then star, and just press enter here. Okay, so this is multi-line comment. Okay, so in case of multi-line, start with the slash, start and ending with the slash, and use the star. There is another type of the comment, that is Javadoc comment in the Java. So for this particular method, I can add a Javadoc comment, and when you mouse around that method, you will get some meaningful information. So for that, again slash you need to use, and start with the double star and press enter over here. So it will give the information about the what are the different parameters you will require for this method. Okay, for example, here we require the args, and here I can write some meaningful statement. This is the starting point of the Java program. So if I mouse around the main, you can see here this is providing this statement to the user. So when I am creating any methods in the automation or in the Java programming, I want other person should be able to understand why I created this method. Okay, what are the different parameters required and what is the use of that method. So I can simply use the Javadoc comment like this. Next basic rule for the Java syntax is for the indentation. So when we write our Java program, we use classes, we create multiple methods, we use different variables, we use different loops in the Java, do, while, for loop. So all these things in a single Java file, if you do not use any indentation, when you are reading that code, it will be very hard to understand. So by having proper indentation in the Java program, our code will look clean and neat, and it will also increase the readability of our Java program. For example, here we don't, let's say I am not using any indentation. Let's say it is starting here. Let's say variable starting here, right? I don't know for loop where it is starting. Let's say I'm writing like this. Okay, so this code is without any indentation. Okay, see this. So this doesn't look clean and neat, right? When any other person is reviewing your code, it will be very hard for him to understand this code, whatever you have done. So that's why we need to follow proper indentation here. So in the Eclipse, you can just press Ctrl A and then as a shortcut Ctrl Shift F. So this will simply format your Java code with the proper indentation. Okay, so anytime if you miss any indentation, if you miss this curly bracket where it should be, then what you have to do is Ctrl A, Ctrl Shift and F. Okay, so it will auto format your Java code in the Eclipse. So these are the some basic Java syntax rules that we need to follow and we need to remember as a beginner level. So I hope you understand the importance of the Java syntax rules in the Java programming. So now let's look at the different data types in the Java. So in the Java there are two types. One is primitive data type and another one is non-primitive data type. So in the Java programming you will require different kinds of data to perform different operations. Okay, so you may require simple kind of data or you may require a large set of complex data. So for the simple kind of data, if you want to store, for those purpose we have primitive data type. And in case you need to process, you need to use the complex set of data, which can be large set of data for performing different complex operations in the Java programming. We have non-primitive data types. So in the primitive data types, we have numeric and non-numeric. So in the non-numeric, we have character type and boolean type. So if you want to define one character type of data in the Java programming, we need to use this character keyword. Okay, and in case of boolean type of data, you need to use this boolean data type. So in the numeric, we can have integer types, right? And we can have floating point also, right? So in case of here, if it is a 10, it is a integer type. But if I add point 0, 1, 2, 3, so this is a floating type of value. So this is how it is categorized. So numeric categorized into two main types. One is integer, another one is floating type. Integer data type further categorized into four subtypes: byte, short, integer and long. Similarly, in the floating point, we have two subtypes, that is float and double. So these primitive data types will store the simple values, but we have these non-primitive data types. So non-primitive data types is going to store the references. Reference, that means memory reference, memory address to the objects. So in the non-primitive data types, we have strings, arrays, classes, interface, and objects. So all these data types will be used to handle large set of complex data in the complex Java programming. So key difference between this primitive data type and non-primitive data type in the Java is this primitive data type is going to store the actual values. Okay, simple but actual values. But in case of non-primitive data type, we store the memory reference or memory address to the object. All these primitive data types are going to store into the stack, okay, in the stack memory. But in case of non-primitive data type, all those will be stored in the heap, but their references will be in the stack only. So these primitive data types, their size will be fixed. But in case of non-primitive data type, that memory can be depending upon the type of objects. So that memory will be vary. It is not fixed. So key difference, these primitive data types differ from the non-primitive data type is primitive data type stores simple values such as integers, boolean, and characters, but non-primitive data type stores the references to their data rather than actual data itself. So in the Java programming, as I shown here, if you want to define some byte type of variable, you need to use this byte keyword, give some variable name, and provide some value. Okay, so it is going to take 1 byte of memory, 1 byte nothing but 8 bits. Okay, so what kind of range you can assign to this byte type of variable? -128 to 127, and their default is 0. Okay, so if you do not give any value here, their default value will be considered as 0. So I can assign maximum 127 from -128. So I cannot go beyond 127 here. It will start giving me the error. Okay, so every data type will have their minimum and maximum range. Similarly, short data type will take 2 bytes, that is nothing but 16 bits, and this is the range, and its default value is also 0. Then we have the integer variables, integer data type, which will take 4 bytes of memory. This is their range. So how they are calculating it? Minus 2 to the power whatever bytes it is taking, that means 32 minus 1. So it will give you -2 to the power 31 to 2 to the power 31 minus 1. Okay, and then we have this log. So both positive and negative value we are going to store by using this numeric type of primitive data type. Then we have the decimal numbers, okay, where we have float and double. So you need to use the float. In case of float, we need to provide f at the end. Okay, it is going to take the 4 bytes. This is its range, and default value is 0.0f. In case of double, it is going to take 8 bytes of memory, and its default value is 0.0d. So for defining character type of data, we can use this character keyword, character variable name, and then we need to give the value in the single quote. So it takes 2 bytes of memory, and this is the range 0265535, and this is the default character if you do not provide any value to this character data type. Then we have the boolean type. So this can have true and false, right? Boolean can be either true or false. And in case of non-primitive data type, which is going to store the reference to the objects, we have the string. So how we can use the string? String, this is the identifier, equals to its value. Okay, so string is nothing but the sequence of the character. So default value for the string is null. Similarly, for the array, which is going to store the multiple values of same type, its default value is null. And this is how you can initialize it. So in case of simple values, you can go for primitive data type. But in case you need to create some complex programming or complex applications, you will require non-primitive data types, considering classes, objects, interface, arrays, and string. So that's all for this second session, guys. So in this we have seen the different Java syntax rules that we need to follow to write our clean, neat, and error-free Java code. And then we have seen about the different data types in the Java. So in the next video, we will learn about the variables, different types of operators, and how we can create different expressions by using these variables and operators in the Java. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video.